Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make him bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
So guys, there's a heat wave of wrestlers about to make the transition. Why do I say that? Bo Nickal, that's his name. Bo Nickal having success is going to open the door for a lot of NCAA wrestlers, especially when you're able to have fun. So here we have it, guys. On this episode of Go Talk, I want to break down the 5 guys that I think should or could make the transition into mixed martial arts. Number 1, I'm going to have to go with none other than Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee. Who is Spencer Lee? Spencer Lee is a 2-time Hodge winner, trophy winner, which they only give that to one NCAA wrestler every single year. This man had a chance to win it 2 times. He's a 3-time NCAA champion. He's going to be going for his 4th this year. He is from Iowa, trained by the same guy that trained me, Henry Cejudo, by the name of Terry Brands. And I just believe that somebody like Spencer Lee, if he was to get into the sport of mixed martial arts, easy pickings, man. 125 pounds. I think this guy would be hard to stop. Number 2, the one and only from Tucson, Arizona, Roman Bravo Young. Roman Bravo Young is a 2-time NCAA champion. This man is he's been training with Dominic Cruz. I have history with him in the past of being able to work with him, but also coach against him when he was wrestling one of my wrestlers. But this guy had beat us every single time. This guy's an athlete. Like I said, he's going for his 3rd national title here. I know there's an ambition. It's just a matter of when he's going to transition into mixed martial arts, but I'm going to have to put him at number 2. At number 3, and I'm not sure if this guy's ever going to transition, but I would love to see it someday once he's done with his Olympic career, because out of all these guys that I just mentioned, I do believe Yianni is the guy, other than Spencer Lee, is a guy that's going to go out there and make Olympic teams and bring back medals, as he brought home a 2022 world silver medal at the World Championships. Yianni Diakomihalis, a 3-time NCAA champion, very agile, very Gumby, like he's a winner. He's a winner up top. When he wrestles with emotions. When he wrestles to put on a show, and I believe it's very, very fun. 3-time NCAA champion, going for his 4th title, and I think Yianni Diakomihalis would be a threat for any of those guys at 145 pounds. We're talking about a featherweight now. So Spencer Lee, 125, Roman Bravo Young, maybe 125 or 35, and then Yianni Diakomihalis at 145 pounds for featherweight. And number 4, the one and only AJ Ferrari, the NCAA champ, who was wrestling for Oklahoma State, who just transitioned back to, I don't know what he's planning on doing, but he's been showing a lot of clips of him doing fighting. This man would more likely compete maybe at heavyweight or 185 pounds. The strength that this kid has is ridiculous. I've had a chance to see him. I had a chance to watch him lift. This man has crazy, freakish strength. I just hope that stuff can translate into boxing, into Muay Thai, into the aspect of the whole game of mixed martial arts. But I do believe that any wrestler who has a desire, who has determination, if you guys are able to take your time, you guys will do successful. So I'm gonna have to say AJ Ferrari, NCAA champ, the Italian stallion. I'm going to have to put him at number 4. And number 5, the one and only Carter Starocci. Again, I want to say he's a 2-time NCAA champ out of Penn State, going for his 3rd. I mean, this guy is a teammate with Bo Nickal. It's the only reason why I'm putting him out here, because I believe that Bo Nickal's chirping in everybody's ears saying, hey, this sport is a lot easier than wrestling. So that being said, that is my list. Let's review it one more time. Spencer Lee, 125 pounds, 3-time NCAA champ, going for his 4th. Number 2, Roman Bravo Young, 2-time NCAA champ, going for his 3rd. I think he's going to be the next to transition into mixed martial arts. Number 3, Yianni Diakomihalis, 3-time NCAA champ, going for his 4th this year. I believe we're going to have to wait on him, but I do want to see him make that transition into mixed martial arts. Number 4, AJ Ferrari, the Italian stallion. I think he has what it takes. He has the grit, he has the might, and I think like he wants to go out there and put it on everybody. And number 5, the one and only Carter Starocci. I mean, this list right here, guys, if these guys decide to really make their transition, I'm not even going to call them contenders. I'm going to call them future champs. I'm out!
Couple questions for you, Henry. I know there's a lot of wrestlers that don't make the transition, and you look at like a Jordan Burroughs or some of the really high-level wrestlers who don't transition to MMA. Why do you think that is the case sometimes where you'll see these great candidates to transition to the sport choose not to?
Yeah, it's because of competition, man. They're just at that point, once you get down at the highest levels, the reason why those guys, some of those high levels can't succeed is they're sick of competing. I was sick of competing at the age of 21. I probably had over 1,000 wrestling matches, and that's matches. That's not even practice. And I think you reach a level where just like, man, I just want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like I retired from wrestling young, but I wasn't done competing. So I do believe if you have that chip on your shoulder and you still want to compete but not wrestle, like the sport of mixed martial arts is what it is. But the reality is you're just sick of competing. It takes a lot to get you. Oh, you got to cut weight again, which is something that we've been doing for our whole lives. We have to stay disciplined. This is why a lot of times a lot of wrestlers get fat after they get done wrestling, because of the freedom that you're given. And I think a lot of these wrestlers, the reason why they don't make that transition right away is just they're just beat up. They're beat up physically, but they're also beat up just mentally, man, because it's a lot. So I have total respect for guys that reach the world-class level and then eventually end up making that transition into MMA, like Mark Madsen, myself, Daniel Cormier, Dan Henderson. Like these guys, it's a competitive spirit that's hard to come by, but when you have it, you have it.
What advice do you have for these wrestlers making the transition? I know you obviously won the Olympic gold medal, but even
with a broken freaking neck.
Exactly, but even you had, I believe, 6 fights before the UFC. Bo Nickal, much less than that. But what advice do you have for any of these wrestlers if they do want to make the transition?
Make the transition of taking your time. If you're able to take your time with the sport, with the game, you have to know 2 out of the 4 bases good. So there's striking, there's grappling, and then there's we can say jiu-jitsu, so you have wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, we'll say boxing. You have to have 2 out of the 4 down very, very well, because I have my safety net which is wrestling, and then I can also strike. So if you're beating me here, I'm going to take you down. But I also had a chance to take my time, literally take my time to say, I'm going to fight, but I want to be the best in the world. I don't want to just be a fighter, which those are a lot of guys, like the majority of the guys, like they say they want to be a world champ, but when you don't take your time and dedicate and respect the sport as you should. In other words, what I'm saying is before you get into mixed martial arts, give attention to another base which you can become good at as a wrestler, where you're already going to have that good base, whether it's striking or maybe just or maybe just the jiu-jitsu and the top game. But I would say the striking and the wrestling. The jiu-jitsu stuff's going to come easy for you. So take your time. Remember, I did amateur boxing for 3 years after the Olympics. Like I was done wrestling before I made my comeback for 2012. Didn't make the team, but I still wanted to compete. I didn't want to wrestle anymore. As a matter of fact, I should have never came back in reality. My heart just wasn't in it, but I still wanted to compete. So this is why it was easy after 2012 that I didn't make the Olympic team, for me to transition into mixed martial arts, because I was fed up with wrestling. As much as I love it, it was a love-hate relationship at the very, very end. So take your time, number 1, learn your bases, and then transition into the sport of mixed martial arts. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdown, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out!